Okay, everybody, welcome to the channel. This is A Guy with a Shovel Productions, and today we're going to be looking at, well, we won't be looking so much, but we're going to be sort of looking at this Chinese carbon fiber LCG chassis. We'll be doing let's do this. We'll be doing a hard body job here with the old dovetail pinch chop and drop operation. So I'll just kind of get started on it and we'll do it together. So here we go. You're all probably familiar with the Mojave body from RC four-wheel drive, which is basically the Tamiya Hilux body. I'll get this thing cleaned up, and then we're going to do the old pinch job on the front, where we cut that nice wedge shape out of each side and then bring it all together to get a nice narrowed front end there, so we get the clearance from the bigger tires and that nice pinched look that people expect from a proper LCG rock crawler. So, and then on the bed we're going to do the same thing, but a little bit different, I think. I'll end up cutting out the bed panel and reworking a few sections to get this thing narrowed up in the back. So just hang tight and we'll get this thing started. I'll be using a little bit of duct tape here to create the line I'm after. Of course, I've got a line already on each side of the hood that I'll follow, but to get the other line established, I'm gonna drop that tape on right there. And I think that typically everybody comes to that rise in the hood right here, but I'm gonna try to go a little bit further. We'll see how it goes. And this tape is probably not the ideal tape to be using. You should have some sort of painter's tape, or masking tape would be the correct tape. But we don't operate under that same rule set. So I'm going to do it like this. And we'll see how it goes. It's a chop job, so we really don't... Oof, kick the camera. We really don't care. We really don't. Just needs to sort of be about there. And there. So it's going to be an approximate 3/4 of an inch. If you do it, I got all this junk everywhere. If you do it where the hood rise starts, but I'm pretty sure that, nah, we're going to be about 7/8 of an inch, which is going to be good. You know, and it might be better to use the millimeters just because there's going to be a little bit more accuracy there. So let's just call it 23 millimeters. And I'm happy with that. So a lot of folks use a fine-tooth saw or a hobby saw or a hacksaw even in some cases to cut this stuff, but I'm more of a score and snap type of guy, so we're going to do the score and snap. And that looks something like this. I'm going to take this blade, make sure I'm going to get that corner proper. And then I'm just gonna run that blade down this edge gently, a few times until I get that score started the way I want it. And then you're gonna do it a lot. Obviously, you're gonna do it a bunch, but repeat it over and over and over again until you know, until you get the score deep enough that you get the snap proper. So we'll work on that. It's going to be tough to see. I don't know if you can see it, but the score is happening. You should be able to see that. And if you can't, it's not my problem. Have a good blade when you're doing this, which I do not, but it's going to work anyway. This is much better than running a hacksaw through there. It turns out much cleaner than the hacksaw cut. Just keep your fingers out of the way when you're doing it, for obvious reasons, because you'll lose one. And it'll probably look a lot like that when you lose it. So don't screw around too much. Don't be too big of an idiot. Now this is the trickier one because you don't already have a channel there to kind of guide you through the score. So you need to be very, very precise. Careful, be light as you're chasing this line, this edge. Be very light and delicate. And get that score started in a way that, see, this is the tricky part, is I'm going to actually rise over the hood rise. I'm going to have to follow that in a way that and if you're careful and you've done this before, you might think this could be kind of tricky to get back into that score that you're doing, the score that you started. But if you lightly move your blade, you can feel that score with that razor blade right there. And you can kind of just slowly but surely do it. So I'll come back when I'm done and we'll see how it looks. Okay, you'll be able to see that hopefully there, the score starting. Focus. It's right there. So once you've actually got the score started, you don't really need the tape if you're cautious and careful. So that's how I'm going to do it. I've removed that tape. You can actually see on the underside on this score, I've actually got penetration with that tip of the blade. So we're looking pretty good there. I'm going to just continue on this other side. And we should be able to see what we want there. We should be able to get what we want out of that. And I might have made an error already by deciding to bring the pinch a little wider above the hood rise. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm highly suspect that could be the case. We might end up with a little bit of a goofy alignment here on this front, but that should be fine. We'll be alright. Score and snap. Score and snap, folks. That's how it works. Score and snap. So I don't have the cleanest score on this side, but it's going to snap all the same, and I'm going to use these sort of dikes to demonstrate that. See that? Snap. Now we got a good snap there. We can just work that thing out. And it might not look the prettiest at first, but if you work it out, it works out. Funny how that works, huh? So this is ABS plastic, and it's pretty forgiving. And I got a custom set of curved needle nose pliers there, so that's most of our first cut. And of course you see a lot of, it's rough, but that'll clean up before I get it all bent back and whatnot, you know. We're going to heat it and deform that plastic and make it right. So you'll see. That's the first half, pinch, cut, achieved. So that's nice. I'm going to do a fender arch, a wheel arch trim too, and we're going to do the score and snap method for that too, because it works much better than a saw, a Dremel, any of that other business. Okay, that works pretty good. Now, that's just really rough. It doesn't look like I'm doing it good, but it's going to clean up well. Alright? There. Both sides trimmed and mostly ready to pinch. So that's cool. Okay, you can kind of see that sort of, this focus needs to focus. You can see those wheel arch lines I made. That's my rough line here. I'm going to just score around that line a couple times and snap it. Okay, so it's going. I will say that I made an error in that I shouldn't have pinched or notched out the pinches before I did the wheel arches, because now that I've removed that hood section, I've created a structural deal in the way that I've scored, and now I can't snap properly because this isn't attached and it's not rigid, so I got to be very careful here. We'll see how it goes. Failure is my middle name. Worked out. Now I'll do the other side and we'll get her all done. Okay, I've got both my wheel arches trimmed out, so now I got a little bit of sanding to do to clean up just the edges, and then I'm gonna heat and deform this plastic into a giant mess and push those pinched fenders in. So, okay, there we are. I got the pinch completed. It's just spot glued in place there. I have a little bit of a goof right there. I got it a little warmer than I needed, and the plastic started to roll, so that's kind of a disappointment, but I'll fix it. I got a light sand job here that's happened in preparations for the paint, so, and I'll finish off the glue with either that E6000, I'll glue the inside of the hood, or I'll use this Permatex RTV gasket maker stuff. This is a very, very good silicone glue, so I'm not sure which one I'll use yet. I haven't decided. But the next step is to get this back panel on. I got to do some work cutting it. I got to cut a couple parts and make it fit. So I'm going to do that next. We'll see how it goes. Okay, here's what we've got. That chop and drop's done. I've got the pinch done. Got to get some glue finished up. Kind of get a good feel for what's going on there. So anyway, I've taken quite a bit of material off of this cab here. And let's take a look. Here's my front body mounting system. It's 2mm Allen key. As you can tell, I've got the hood notched in a rough way. I still got to do some cleanup, but I got it notched. And, notched for the towers, and kind of so the shock can poke up a bit. But anyway, my body mounting system is a 2mm Allen key that slides through the tower holes, and then that's it. It keeps it on the front. In the back, this may all change when I get that bed mounted too, but in the back it's got those little DIY brackets I made, but this is what we're looking at. Not using those hard body mounts because of the chop and drop won't allow me. I cut material off the bottom of the body, so those stock body mounts are not there anymore, obviously, so I had to improvise, and that's how you improvise. Show you how that key goes back in. Of course, you got to have the bed sitting where it goes. You just go right in there like that. Get it under there. Whoops. Let me redo that. It's never smooth on camera, and then there you go. That's the simplest way right now, and I don't think I'll change it because it works very well. And it's pretty much done. So we're gonna get a running video here probably tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, but this is it, folks. Done. You know, I got a lot of work to do on the bed to get it to fit proper because of obvious reasons. These shock towers in the rear are in the way, so I'm probably going to have to do some cutting there so I can get it on. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's no big deal. We'll make it happen. So, anyway, that's the long in the tooth version there. And we'll put the paint on it and touch up some of my inconsistencies, and everything will be great. So, thanks for watching. This has been a Guy with a Shovel Productions.